welcome to or back to my channel. Hey, I'm Ellen if you're new here, and welcome to a Sunday style video. I upload a fashion topical related video to do with either trends, come shopping with me, what I've been buying. So if that is up your street, please do remember to hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the video throughout, or now if you fancy supporting me and coming along for the journey. I also upload Wrap Up Wednesdays where you get a peek into my everyday early 30s London life. So without further ado, that is enough about me. Let's get into my fashion idol, the queen herself, Isabel Marant. And in honor of this video today, I'm wearing my favorite pieces from Isabel Marant. I've got this beautiful dress, which is from the spring summer ready to wear 2019, and this gorgeous like poncho shawl, which is from fall winter ready to wear 2014, which was only available in Barney's, New York. So I'm very, very lucky to have my hands on this. Thank you to my stepmom who has exquisite taste. So I have been an Isabel Marant fan for years. I love her relaxed approach to fashion, her casual, chic, boho French styling. And I'm so, so happy that she is coined to be a trend for 2024. I think with Isabel Marant, she is a true spring summer kind of brand. She says with the layering piece on, she does knitwear well, but what she's really known for is her spring summer Parisian boho aesthetic. And I wanted to talk about that and how it's going to influence fashion for 2025. Obviously we're in the depths of winter at the moment, but it is nice to think about spring summer styling. So that's definitely going to be the focus of this video. So Isabel Marant as a fashion house was launched in 1994 and first showed at Paris Fashion Week in 1995, where Isabel Marant used a lot of her friends as models, really emphasizing her casual approach to fashion that she has kept with the brand. Isabel Marant herself actually left the brand about 5 years ago now, but the relaxed, effortless styling of the brand has rung true through every Isabel Marant collection that we've ever seen, really. So really kept those strong roots that was so apparent in that first 1995 show. The key sort of trends that Isabel Marant is known for is obviously that Parisian chic, effortless look, worn a lot by the Olsen twins, who obviously have a very effortless, low-key approach to style, as you can see from their brand, The Row. And they've built this real effortless brand, but back in the day, they were wearing a lot of Isabel Marant. This brand has been worn by a lot of celebrities in a very sort of, I would say, understated luxury way. You obviously have the Isabel Marant ready-to-wear range that's shown at Fashion Weeks, and then you have Isabel Marant's diffusion line, which is called Etoile. Etoile is a lot more affordable in terms of price point, both new, and you can find it on like luxury resellers like The Real and Vestiaire for like really amazing prices. So if you do want to dip your toe into the brand, I would definitely recommend opting for the diffusion line and getting it secondhand, because the styling of Isabel Marant has stayed really consistent. It's not something that you would need to drop into a brand new season of to feel like you're part of the brand, because it's just been effortlessly chic the whole way through. The key themes are very much like Western styling, bohemian in terms of like the fabrics and the layering. She uses a lot of linens, silks, and a lot of sort of like exquisite details, as you can see from this, where it's a lot of like embroidery, a lot of applique, different elements throughout her designs that make them really, really unique, special, and then a lot of fringing. And we can't talk about Isabel Marant without talking about the wedged sneaker. That was something that really drove her to fame in the sort of mid 2010s. Everybody had a wedge sneaker. They were a really, really popular product, and a lot of high street fashion brands did end up duping them. One brand that duped them actually really well was Jeffrey Campbell, because it was at the same sort of time that Jeffrey Campbell was having their rise to fame as well. So there was like a slightly more affordable price point version within the Jeffrey Campbell range, but also a really, really great piece. So that's a bit of an overview of the history of Isabel Marant. I would say a relatively new fashion house. And like I previously mentioned, Isabel Marant is no longer the creative director of her named brand. It's now a woman called Kim Becker, who is a Dutch designer but has worked for Isabel Marant for around 10 years, and she was named creative director in 2001, and she has kept the real heritage of the brand and the styling and the aesthetic of the brand. She's kept it really true, but I would say the elements she's added of her own are a new sort of more tailored styling and fit to the brand that we didn't really see previously. Previously, everything's been very like oversized, all about layering, but I would say, especially when it comes to fall winter, Kim has added a kind of Parisian structure to the design, just Parisian sort of structured silhouette to the design that we haven't really seen before. I also coined the structured silhouette as a trend for 2025, so it's interesting to see that both Isabel Marant in her new form, in the brand's new form, is something that we will be bringing into 2025 trends, as well as this sort of structured element that we're taking from other brands. So I think we need to talk about the ready-to-wear spring-summer 2025 show of Isabel Marant, because that is definitely what's going to be inspiring, I would say, the brand overall, but like the key reason that we're looking at Isabel Marant at the moment is because that show was so good, and it really caught people's attention and caught people's eyes, and there are definitely a few trends that are coming out of that show that I think are going to be really important for spring summer 25, and I also worry will be micro trends as well. So I would say, when I'm referencing these trends throughout, remember that this has all been done before. Every fashion trend we're seeing at the moment, especially when it comes to that sort of mid 2010s range, it's relatively new. These fashion trends have been done before. You don't need to go anywhere other than Vinted or eBay or Vestiaire to buy into these trends, because they've all happened before and they're so easy to thrift and buy secondhand. So I would really opt for doing that over buying anything new. Unless you're going to invest in sort of a true Isabel Marant piece, I wouldn't buy any of the high street copies, because they're just not going to be the same. One thing about Isabel Marant is the fabric she uses and the way she puts those items together, and the high street will just never be able to replicate that. So if your price point isn't Isabel Marant, go secondhand, because it's just not going to be the same when we start to get all these like boho dupes out of the high street. And I'm sure we're going to see lots of like get the Isabel Marant look from like lots of different like influencers talking about it, lots of high street brands. And you've got to remember that the quality and fabric of her pieces is what is so amazing about this brand. And you aren't going to be able to replicate that in fast fashion. You're just not going to be able to. Maybe a hot take, but that's in my personal opinion. So Isabel Marant's Spring Summer 25 show was set to this beautiful sunset backdrop that felt like you were like in the desert in Arizona somewhere, and the styling and the clothing was really akin to this. So the main trend coming out of this was so clearly fringe. The fringe was all over the like slouchy boots that we saw that were absolutely beautiful, and also across the jackets and waistcoats. So there's going to be a lot of layering. We've already spoken about that in other trend videos, but this layering was definitely through like suede and fringe, and that added layer of like kind of like true warmth that kind of takes you back to like mid 2000s Coachella, the original days of Coachella, where people wearing like feathers in their hair. It was that real swing around to that sort of styling. So I would assume at Coachella this year we're going to see a lot of like the sort of boho throwbacks to sort of the kind of like highlight of Coachella era, like Coachella fashion, when Coachella fashion really started. So think the like Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner's first looks at Coachella, where they were wearing those like floor length like fringe jackets and stuff. We're going to see a lot of that definitely swinging back around due to this show. I think we're also going to see a lot of like really interesting abstract prints being used as well. Isabel Marant is sort of notorious for her print. I would say that we can kind of talk about now, I should have thrown it in at the beginning, but Isabel Marant's collaboration with H&M. Obviously H&M do the designer collaborations every year, and Isabel Marant's collaboration was one of the ones that has been sort of spoken about being the most true to the fashion designer herself, and it was also the first ever one to crash the H&M website when it launched. And throughout that collection was a lot of Isabel Marant's sort of iconic abstract prints that are definitely very akin to nature. The inspiration comes a lot from nature within Isabel Marant's collections in general, and that's why you get that real sort of earthy bohemian feel from it. And we're going to see a lot more of these abstract prints definitely throughout fashion in general. and we're going to see them like layered up in really interesting ways, and with lots of like these silhouettes with like kind of like the details like this, lots of like holes, and so you can see skin through it, and it's definitely using the body in with the prints and in with the styling of the clothes. And I really love that about Isabel Marant. She really makes clothes for women, I guess, like the way that they're cut out and the silhouettes throughout use the body as part of the clothing, and I find that so interesting and really beautiful. I also say we'll see a lot more of these neutral tones, also with the Pantene tone of the year being that mocha coffee brown as well. We saw a lot of that in general through Spring Summer Fashion Week last year, and this show is no exception. There's a lot of like coffee, earthy, mockery tones throughout, and it's definitely something we're going to see pulling through to Spring Summer this year. We're going to see a lot of browns. We're already seeing a lot of sort of chocolate rich browns anyway, but I think they're going to get a lot more like earthy as we move through into Spring Summer. So yeah, I don't want this video to get too long, guys, so I'll definitely leave it there. I think analysing that show is enough, and I'm so interested to see how this all sort of materialises into our spring summer fashion. I am so interested in trends in general, and if you are too, then definitely stick around because we chat about those a lot here, and I will catch up with you guys in my next video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Bye!